Fringe is here, every voice we wanna hear. Stages set, the lights are bright, bring your art into the night. KC's heart, it beats so loud, every artist in the crowd. Voices rise and colors blend, create a world that won't end. Welcome to Fringe, the place is calling. Lights are flashing, hearts are falling. Join the wave, come feel the motion. Dive into this Fringe devotion. Stories told and laughter shared, every stage shows how we care. Dreamers rise and new worlds make.
Hi everybody, welcome to the live version of this podcast is Uncalled For, live at KC Fringe. My name is Mike Chernevsky. This is my co-host.
I am Heather Marie. How are you guys doing tonight?
Woo. All right, so we're here at Fringe Tech Rehearsals. Got Heather here. And what are we talking about today?
Well, we both are dealing with car trouble, but
Yes, we are.
We could really talk. I feel like that's just relevant to me right now, but I'm pretty flexible. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was hoping we'd do your top 10 episodes, assuming you've done that yet. So.
A little bit more, so I can bring you more back here.
Yeah.
Bring me.
Yeah.
Come forward a little more.
Come forward. Yeah.
And speak up, throw your voice a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Project, as they say in theater. Yeah.
So, I ended up getting back home from Minnesota last night at like 11, and then my car broke down today, and I completely forgot to bring my top 10 podcast list.
Okay, that's perfectly right. Do you need something memorized? Or
No.
Not even. Okay.
No.
All right.
What are you?
So
You said that, and I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that.
you were supposed to do it. Okay,
Sorry.
we can do it some other time. That's perfectly all right. So, do you want to talk about car troubles?
You know, we can talk. What do you want to talk about aside from top 10 episodes?
I guess we could talk about car troubles because we're both experiencing car troubles right now. So as we're doing this right now, my car's in the shop too. So I have a lot of experience with having my car in the shop.
A lot recently, specifically.
Yeah, specifically, but certainly over the course of my owning my current car.
So what is it in the shop for right now?
It is in the shop because starting on Monday, getting gas and everything, and then I stop at Crown Center, have some lunch before going into a club to help out everything. I get, and keep in mind it's hot on Monday, right? Get back to the car, and it's pretty hot in the Crown Center garage for some reason. Hallmark, if you're listening, please, AC in your garages.
Or fans or something.
Or fans or
Ventilation
something.
of some kind. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a hot box in there.
About like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it just doesn't go. I think it must have something to do with the heat, or I'm reading online that's probably vapor lock because I had just gotten gas. But I get to the club that I'm supposed to help out with, same damn thing over again.
Oh no.
I get to the chess club office to do something, just hang out for a little bit, just try to stay cool. Same goddamn thing.
So it won't start, and then the second time it starts every time?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Again, after a little while.
Huh.
After a little while. Then Tuesday comes around. But first, I'm paying some guys $150 to take away an old mattress. Just get rid of the damn thing.
Yeah, they are hard to get rid of.
Yeah, it was holey and got some damage from the storms we've had recently. So it just had to be getting rid of.
Yeah, it was
All
time.
right? It was beyond time.
Do you have a new mattress yet?
I have an air mattress I'll be using.
Okay. So back to the car.
So back to the car.
Yeah.
Same goddamn thing. Get out to where I need to go for work. Even though it's a little cooler, same goddamn thing, you know. Actually, no, I make the mistake of stopping at McDonald's, getting some food, and then going back to my destination, which isn't too far away, the Lenexa City Hall, where we've been before, right? And drop off some stuff. By the way, one of our instructors that's been at camp there this week has Donnie Campbell for math, and I told her, you know, we have that episode that released recently with my talking Ted Lasso with researchers. Yeah, and she's like, oh, I need to listen to that sometime.
Right.
So I leave. Yeah, all that bullshit again. The funny thing is, the car's driving just fine. All right.
After it starts.
After it starts, it's the starting that is having the issue.
That's a big part of it, though.
Yeah. So I finally get started. I get back to my shop downtown Loveland Park, and they take a look at it. They have issues getting started, and they figure out, it's the engine control module that's malfunctioning.
Oh no, that sounds expensive.
Oh, it is.
Of course. Of course it is.
Now, here's the thing. They've worked with me for such a long time on this particular car that they said, yeah, we're going to do our best to keep the price as low as possible for you. Well, as low as possible, it turns out they've been shopping for parts for the last day plus. And, I'll be without a car for at least the next 5 days.
And what's their number? What are you looking at as far as repairs?
Unfortunately, I have a line of credit with them, and it should be under my number. So
Okay.
hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we're just on what they initially planned on doing, which would have included another part, we were looking at $5,000.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole new car.
Almost.
Although, well, honestly, not right now. It seems like you can't even.
Yeah.
Man. Prices of cars, car trouble. It seems like it's happening all over.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Let's hear about your car troubles.
I know you've had your car in the shop a bunch recently. I've been pretty fortunate. My car, I have a 2004 Cadillac SRX.
Oh, that's older than my car.
It is. It's an old car. And it's been a good car. So I I work hard not to complain about it because it's been a good car.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to Fargo to watch my daughter wrestle, and then we went to Minnesota to visit my grandfather, and I rented a car for that journey because it was going to be a lot of miles on my 2004 Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
So we got home last night about 11:30. This morning got up to take the rental back, and car's driving just fine, and then it's doing that like jumpy.
Oh no.
Yeah, kind of feels like the whole engine's doing something like this. And my daughter was actually driving that car because I was driving the rental back. She calls me from behind me and she's like, hey, the car's doing something kind of funny. And I'm like, we're a mile and a half away from the rental place. Let's just get it there and then I'll drive it home and we'll see. Mm-hmm. So we get it there. I get in the car to drive it home. Definitely doing the jumpy thing.
Right.
Then the check engine light flashes.
That is definitely not good. And that has happened to me before. Not this time, oddly enough, but it has happened before. Most recently, just a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It happened.
Well, I knew that a flashing check engine light meant stop your car right now, or
Just any check engine light,
yeah.
really. So.
Well, that's true, but like
especially-
flashing is like, hey,
especially flashing.
hey, I'm trying to get your attention, you know? And so we stopped. I turned it off. I turned it back on. Check engine light is on, but no longer flashing. And it's a jumpy ride, but I'm able to get it home, call my mechanic, get it to the mechanic's office. I don't know how much it's going to cost yet. He said that he should hopefully be able to take a look at it for me this afternoon, but he's golfing tomorrow, which is fine. I'm happy for him that he's golfing tomorrow.
I'm guessing this is not a chain
No,
mechanic.
no, he is a phenomenal mechanic. He's been my mechanic for about 10 years. But he has his home, and then his garage with the lift and everything is right next to it. And he works how he works. But he is very reasonable, and he's very kind, and he's very honest, so all of it kind of works in rotation. I accept the golfing in exchange for all the rest of the perks for it. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so bad and so reason that I gotta take an Uber out here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I am presently borrowing my dad's car, which he's...
It sounds like I'll be borrowing my dad's car starting tomorrow.
Michael, we are grown adults borrowing our dad's cars. That should be the conversation, right? Like, who do you count on when your car breaks down?
I didn't even plan to ask my father about this sort of thing, but he just called while I was still at the shop and volunteered. Yeah, hey, I'll let you borrow my car while your car's in the shop.
Yeah, that's great, though. My dad, I called him because I needed help getting my car to the mechanic.
Yeah.
And then it kind of came about the same way. But
You have AAA?
I have USAA insurance, and then I have the tow policy on it. And so, but where the mechanic is from where my home is like just outside of that.
Oh, wow.
It's like X amount of miles that's included in the tow, you know, and it's just outside of that. And so it was cost effective, but it also created an opportunity for my dad and I to talk and him to let me borrow his car.
I'm guessing your dad was in the service, if you have a...
It's actually, my story takes many turns, as I suppose most people's do, but it is my mom's husband, so my stepdad
Stepfather.
is who I have USAA through.
Nice.
My dad was not in the military. A large percentage of my family was in the military, but it's my stepdad that I have USAA through.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I don't think I qualify, even though I was 2 weeks in the Navy out of high school.
You should check. I mean, honestly, you should check. If it's even that much of a discount. As of late, insurance is another thing that's gone up exponentially. And I will be completely honest in that it's not the cheapest. And the cheapest isn't always the best, but, you know, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be a good rate type of thing. And it's actually, on my recent insurance shopping adventure, it was one of the more expensive rates. So now I'm kind of processing why stay with them as expensive as they are, but I feel like if I leave, I might not get back in.
Well,
Isn't that weird?
That is.
I have like FOMO on an insurance company.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So yeah, I'd recommend AAA. Just don't try to buy auto insurance with AAA. Just get a AAA membership.
How much is your AAA membership?
Well, that's actually something my dad helps me with.
Rock on, go dad.
And we make sure to have the coverage that gives me pretty much anywhere in the KC area they can tow me back.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is very awesome. My tow, I've used the tow service on my insurance a number of times.
Yep.
A number of times. And sometimes, you know, because I have an all-wheel drive car, so I have to have a flatbed tow truck. It can't be like a front-wheel drive or the pull behind.
Right.
So I've had to wait on tow trucks for
I've
an extended period of time.
I've experienced a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Not just with this car that we're talking about, but every car I've had.
Is that car all-wheel drive?
I think
Your
it's
car?
I think it's just the two-wheel.
Yeah. Convenience and inconvenience all at the same time. I enjoy having the all-wheel drive because we live in a climate where it comes in very handy. But I have had to wait like 4 hours for a tow because there wasn't a flatbed tow truck
Right.
available in that window of time.
Yep. And you're out in Belton, so that plays a little bit into it too.
Yes, and I do most of my work. I'm a real estate agent. I do a lot of my work in Kansas City and surrounding areas. I do real estate in Belton, but like this morning, I had to be up in North Kansas City, Gladstone area.
Where I was supposed to be last night,
but no car.
But no car.
And I was on my way up there for an appraisal, and it seems like a lot of the time that my car breaks down, it's right outside of that tow window. At least of the free tow window. They'll still tow it. It's not like they stop, this is the end of our line. We cannot tow you further than this. It's just what's included.
Or we could, you just have to
pay us a little bit. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what it would be. But you got to agree to the payment beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to that appointment. I'm in like an existential space in life. And everything is metaphorical to me right now. Like I'm like, that happened, but what does it mean?
Right.
I see that, but what does it mean? Everything is. And among that, like coming back, we visited my grandpa. My grandfather's 94, and he lives with his second life partner. My grandma passed away before I was born. And then he has a life partner that he's been with for the last few decades. Her name is Beverly, and she's wonderful. She's 95, and they live together alone, 94 and 95. So making time to see them is a priority. Spending time with them is a priority. We ended up just enjoying the day yesterday. Didn't get home till 11, which was very tired, and it pushed me through where I wasn't able to get some things done. And then my car broke down this morning. And so then I'm like talking to my dad. I'm driving up there in my dad's car to make it to this appraisal on time for my client. Like, it's not just me that's at a deficit, but I need to be there to facilitate.
Right.
And as I'm driving up there, my GPS on my phone wants me to get off of my highway that I always drive on and take this other little weird way and get back on the highway up here. And I was like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
GPS are usually stupid like that.
Yeah. Well, what I couldn't see, I had the little CarPlay going on because my dad's car's real fancy. So I had it like plugged in, and CarPlay is on, and I've got the GPS, and the map is right here, and I see the little blue line, and it's wanting me to go this way, but my line right here is blue. It's this way. And I was like, no, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. So I stayed on the highway, only to see in about a mile's distance that was not on my screen that there was a car accident. It was actually a semi-truck accident.
Oh, wow.
And I cost myself 15 minutes sitting in a red line that was just a little bit outside of my screen. And I'm sitting there, and at this point, between like getting home late, the car thing, driving up there, and now I'm late to that, I just sat there and I was like, God, talk to me. I was like, what am I learning right now? What is this message? What is this metaphor? Because I don't want to do this. This game sucks.
Yeah, I got to the point last night where I was like, God hates me.
Just like this sucks. Like, you kind of feel cursed almost.
Yeah.
And so as I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I realized that, one, my GPS tried to take me off the highway. There was a signal. There was a message. There was a something. Hey, get off the highway here. I didn't know why. I thought it was stupid. Mm-hmm. So I said, that's stupid, and I didn't do it. And then I got stuck in the traffic.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get redirected, and you can't see why because it's not on your screen yet. You're looking at it and you can't see it yet.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of have faith that redirection is for you on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That was the messaging that I got in my angry moment.
Right.
Was hey, the GPS told you to get off. You literally said, that's stupid, I want to sit in this traffic.
Right.
Like, okay. Noted.
Yep. So, yeah, fun times with cars. So, before this whole thing, we had the, I forget which part it was that triggered the check engine lights, but it triggered check engine lights, and I had to take it in. Then I had some fun times with the fuel pump.
Well, how many times has your car been in the shop just this year?
Plenty.
I would say at least 3 that I know of, just through our conversations.
And that's not including the standard oil changes either. So.
Oh, well, right.
It's gotten to the point they say, you're one of our favorite customers.
Oh, wow. You are very kind, and you're easy to be around, so I could see that.
And I did gift them a chess set. So they have a chess set in their
In their waiting room?
little waiting room.
That is so cool.
If you wanted to, you could play chess while you're waiting for your car.
That's awesome.
Of course, there's a restaurants in that little strip mall there that you can go to as well.
So when's the last time you did a live podcast?
When's the last time I did a live podcast? Probably SawesomeCon.
Yeah?
Yeah, which would have been in preparation for doing this in 2022 had COVID not struck my house.
Yeah.
But that's the last time we did
A live show?
a live show.
How do you feel about it?
I'm excited.
Yeah? You love it?
Loving it.
So as far as, because I've not done a live, I've done a lot of, like I've been on stages and done a lot of like public speaking,
Yeah.
but not necessarily a podcast. So should we be facing forward? Or
We are facing forward.
Well, I know we're facing forward, but my nature is to look at people when I talk to them.
Uh-huh.
So should I not be doing that? Should I be talking to you and looking out there?
I guess you could probably split the difference.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just look this way?
Yeah, split the difference. Make sure you can
Look
be picked up on the
directly,
mic,
yeah. Okay, so then in that case too, when we have our guests, is there a seating chart? Should we come up with a seating chart, or how do you, what's your,
So you and me in the center, and
a guest on either side?
guess on one side or the other, whichever they want.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh. I would have put the guest in between us so we could both talk to them, but that's probably because I look at people when I talk to them,
Uh-huh.
so that way my back's not to you. That way I can look at you and the guest.
Oh. Well, in that case, we should probably have you in that seat
See?
over there
And
if
see
you
how
want to
it
do that.
works?
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I'm open. I know we have different numbers of guests.
This is why we do tech rehearsals. Yeah. So it'll be between 3 or 4 people on this stage at any one time.
Okay.
You know.
And then, all right, so then we'll mic check. How can you tell if you can still hear me well if I sit here? I like this actually better. I feel much more open.
You like that better?
Well, I don't have to face you so directly to be able to talk to you because there's enough space between us that,
Right.
you know what I mean?
And my headphones are falling apart here. So, all right, let's do a quick. Go ahead.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you just fine.
Can you hear me just fine? That is great news.
Yep.
So that means that whoever sits in this seat then would still
Yeah.
be able
Well,
to.
you're still gonna have to project so that people can hear you too. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Are you excited for Megan for our first show? She's so fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That should be an interesting. That should be an interesting one. I think they're all gonna be interesting.
No, I agree.
To be honest with you.
I'm just put my.
But
my-
Megan's gonna be our first guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, talk about the burlesque.
The burlesque scene, which Kansas City burlesque is growing
It is.
and doing really cool things.
Yeah.
But she also, I met her in the immersion theater.
Mhm.
So she does the. Have I told you about that?
No, you haven't.
I haven't told you about that
No.
at all. So I am part of the Kansas City immersion theater troupe, and we do murder mystery dinners. The troupe does, like, they do Disney princesses, Famous for a Day, but it's all immersion theater. So if I say immersion theater, what separates immersion theater from regular theater?
I'm guessing that it's kind of like immersion classes when you're learning a foreign language.
Kind of, yes. I mean, so you are creating an experience and you're interacting with the guests, and
Yeah.
you're bringing the guests into an interactive, really fun. It's play.
It sounds like audience participation.
And so people that come to, like, the murder mystery dinners, for example, there's usually a theme, and they know what that theme is, and so a lot of people dress up in costumes. But we'll have a number of people from the troupe, and then there's a skit, right? And there's a whole plot,
Right.
and then they have to figure out, who done it, and it's always fun because in the end, when you engage everybody, you're playing a game with a bunch of adults, and as adults, we don't play enough.
We don't. That's where places like Tabletop and Cardboard Corner
Yeah.
and Game Cafe and a place I visited recently, I think it's called the Nirvana Game Cafe.
I like the name of that.
Yeah, we went there. I went there recently to do another recording with someone else is using this venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but that's actually how I met Megan, was in our local immersive theater troupe. So she also does that, so we can talk about that too, I'm
Nice.
sure.
Nice.
And it's just a lot of fun. And then, so Sunday night.
Sunday night is Brian Boyd.
Okay, and so what do we?
So Brian, this will be his third time. He's joining the Three Timers Club. Yeah.
I'm in the Three Timers Club already.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't count
aw.
co-hosts for the Three Timers Club.
But I just mean, like, I just realized we've done this 3 times already. You
Yeah.
said I don't get counted because I'm a co-host. It's fine.
Well, it makes sense because co-hosts in theory will be on the podcast
yeah.
more than 3 times.
Yes,
You know?
no, I know.
Yeah. So Three Timers Club officially is Lucas Stone King and Daniel Rains and Chris Hart. All of them have appeared at least 3 times. So
Do you have a list of people that have done it 2 times that we can get on the 3rd time and make the Three Timers Club a thing?
it's a much shorter list.
Yeah,
So,
is it?
one that I've listed does include Brian Boy. Brian I've known for 20 years now
Yeah.
through the Independent Filmmakers Coalition.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to listen and ask questions.
Well, his first time on the podcast is in my top 10 that we've discussed. So
Yes.
he is responsible for That's Uncalled
Yeah,
for
he
Michael.
is the, that's uncalled for.
Yeah. Yep. So a couple things about Brian. He's a father of 2. They're both teenagers. One, I think the oldest, identifies as gender fluid,
Uh-huh.
and he's done some really interesting shorts over. His day job, he makes commercials. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
So he has done short films addressing like gender identity. Is that what you mean? As far as, or
I don't know if he's done
were those
short-
just separate topics?
those are separate topics
Gotcha,
altogether.
gotcha.
I don't think he's done anything involving gender equality, but I do know he is an ally of the LGBT community,
Good job.
and because he has a child who is in that community.
Well, and that's lucky for that child also.
Yeah.
It's not everybody has safe spaces for whatever their experiences are. So that is
So,
awesome.
yeah. So a couple other things. He's from Nebraska originally.
Cornhusker.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think he went to the University of Nebraska. So, but yeah, no, 20 years. He was actually on the IFC board when I first started coming.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So has he talked about like what he'll want to talk about, or we're just gonna kind of let him lead? And
He actually asked me about that the other day in a message thread. And he's like, "Are we raw dogging it?"
I mean, I feel like that's when you
Yeah.
have the right people at the table, you can kind of just create good conversation, good communication, and it can be fun and engaging and entertaining and educational all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you facilitate that very well. So.
Thank you very much. So night 3. This is going to be the Wednesday. Yeah, the 24th. That'll be your game designer friend,
Yes.
who I met for the first time at Cardboard Corner when we were hanging out there. And he'll be joined. We'll have a second co-host up here, Mr. Terrence Hayes, whom I misidentified as Yates when I had him the first time. Talking a little Cronky out Stanford edition. He's the guy. Terrence does a couple of other podcasts as well. So
Okay.
so his availability with our podcast, we'll see. He's certainly welcome.
That's awesome, though.
But yeah, that was an interesting discussion. The Denver version, which gave me a good chance to express my non-love of all things chicken hawks.
I am learning. It'll be a new football season for me this year, having you to be able to field questions off of.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so what's happening? What does this bracket look like? Even, I'm new to brackets as a whole, Sydney is a wrestler. Like this last tournament, they did brackets, or they have. That's how it was a
Yeah,
bracketed
that's how-
tournament. And
It's a common sports thing.
well, bracket placement is critical.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a critical thing because you could get paired with I hate to say like the wrong team or wrong opponent first round, and you're automatically backside out because
Right.
you weren't able to work your way up the bracket enough to compete with that team.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
It's just interesting that way.
Mm-hmm.
So then, okay, night 4.
Night 4 is George Dean. So George, I first started working with him on Tales from the Interim Net, and he will also be joining the Three Timers Club.
Oh, that's awesome. We should
Yeah.
make them a special button, like your homemade ones.
I didn't bring it, but there's a poster for the Three Timers Club. I will be bringing it later.
to their episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So we just write Brian Boy and George
But
Dean.
if we had a button for them, like what you made homemade, we could make that a thing.
We could. We just gotta go Fringe 411 to
Yeah?
try and make it. Yes.
Is that how that works? Okay.
So how these works during the first Fridays that I've been going to help promote this show, they had the button maker on display, and little slips of paper that you could just customize wherever you want. You can take one of these swirly things and color in however you want. Take a blank one and fill that. Either it doesn't come from Michael or it's Chernovsky.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like if they would have said you can only come in if you can pronounce his last name, it would have been like, that's
Nah,
Yeah.
I can't do that to people.
no, but I'm glad you don't because names are important. So it would have been important to me to get it right, and then I would have struggled feeling I didn't get it wrong.
But something we could absolutely talk to George about. So this will be George's first time saying live with me. Because
Okay.
the first 2 times were both virtual.
Okay,
'Cause
so
he's
not
out of
just
town.
live
He's-
audience, but live in person.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's out of town most of the time. All right.
Well, that's exciting then.
Yep. So we could also talk about, because he is a member of SAG, we could talk about the strike that recently happened.
I'm pretty interested. I like learning from people, and we have compiled this really cool group of humans
Yeah,
to come and
just
share things with
for
us.
this Fringe program.
Yeah,
All right.
specifically geared, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited
So-
to listen and learn and ask questions.
So that's night
My
4.
favorite. Yeah.
And then night 4, and then night 5, our final nights.
Our final night is going to be Miss Samantha Salem. Samantha she's an incredible human, a fellow realtor in the Kansas City area. She also is behind Investing KC, and she does a lot of, aside from just doing real estate, a lot of helping people with their investing portfolios and stuff like that. But Samantha is a Palestinian woman and has, as I'm sure anybody could imagine, been very, very closely impacted by everything that has taken place.
Right.
Coming up on, really like more than her whole lifetime. It's been the last like 75, 80 years that it's been really
Since
kind
Israel
of a-
became a state, really.
Yes.
But especially since
Correct,
that.
yes.
But
then-
especially since that
October-
jackass Bibi took over.
And then now we have what took place in October, which just became a green flag for no more rules. And it's been a slow degrade since then. So,
Yeah.
so we will hold space for that conversation. I
Yeah.
have a lot of opinions, but I'm really wanting to.
Well, that's my big opinion on that thing is screw Netanyahu, or however the fuck he pronounces his name.
I think it's interesting. Like I have kids in school and I substitute teach in school, and the concept of banned books, right, is really, really big. And amongst these books that are banned, and like Mein Kampf has been banned for a very long time. It's like
Which
you're
is
on a
funny
list.
because
if you
I
check
read
it
Mein
out.
Kampf as a middle schooler.
Well, and it's like if they say, I don't know who they are, but they say that if you even check it out, you're on a list. They're like, oh,
Out of this,
Why-
I checked it out of the school library, believe it or not.
but
Yeah,
they-
I understand. I'm talking about 30 plus years ago now. So.
well, and you have these stories that are banned. We don't want people to read them. So you have generations that weren't taught them in school. They don't have access to them as stories and books, and they're watching this happen on this global platform, and they're so out of touch with the history repeating itself component of that. You know, it's like, how are we letting this happen? We know better. We know better. We all agreed to do better, and yet here we are.
Yeah. And it's not limited to Israel either.
No.
Ukraine.
Yes.
That's in mind.
Yes. There is a lot of global. You're genocide.
I am Polish.
Yeah.
On Dad's side, Poland is right next to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And guess where? If that other jackass, Putin, somehow succeeds in subjugating Ukraine, guess who's next?
Yeah.
Poland, and Poland's a member of NATO. So yeah, that would be interesting to say the least if that were to happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope this. The simple way to resolve that is Russia, get the fuck out of Ukraine.
It's like, where does this come from? It's interesting how, and I know it's not just him, it's not just these individual leaders directing this, but they are the forefront, the face of these things. But how with a global stage does this kind of tyrannical behavior just exist? It does, and it's not just Ukraine, and it's not just Gaza either. It's
happening. That's what will happen if Donnie somehow gets elected in November. I honest to God hope that doesn't happen, because he was such a disaster the first time. And let's add to the fact that he's a convict now. All right, do you really want a convicted felon running this country?
It makes you feel like the rules are all just pretend. Like it's
rules? There are
they
no
are.
rules here.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way.
It's classic IOKR, to use the political term. It's okay if you're a Republican.
I have not heard that term. IOKR. I got you. It's okay if you're
a Republican. Yeah. So hopefully he does not get reelected, and I'm certainly not going to be voting for him.
I think partisanship is the demise of democracy. I think the two-party system is the biggest flaw in our government, and it is the biggest barrier to electing anybody actually qualified to represent us.
I agree. Especially with regards to the two-party system. I think the Republicans are pretty much done for as far as a non-crazy party. Bill Maher actually said this once. The Democrats have moved to the center, and the Republicans moved into a mental hospital. That's at least...
like if you're already on the right, you can't shift further right. Like you're out.
Yeah, that's the way they've been going, honestly, for over a long time. I point back to at least Reagan at the absolute earliest, maybe earlier.
Founding fathers warned against a two-party system.
Yeah.
So it was, these were things that, and that comes down to, what's the intention? Maybe that was the intention the whole time.
Maybe they saw, this.
Like how can we create an entire game plan that within this structure, these are the expected rules, whether people actually agree with them or not. We'll do a party system, because then you could put, anybody at the head of it, and it's just the talking head.
Yeah.
It's not actually a representative of any individuals. It's a representative of party platform,
Right,
and that's it.
right. So on the Democratic side, you get all these moderates getting elected, and those on the even remotely left, they get shut out,
Yeah.
as I know from personal experience.
Like in your own campaigning journeys.
Exactly.
Which you've considered doing again.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Healy's up next year for re-election. So if not me, then certainly someone else has to run against that jackass. So. And no, Logan, this is not an invitation for you to come on the podcast, because that is never going to happen.
He's like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Here's the thing about that guy in particular. It's a noun of urban education. That's the best way to describe every public statement this man has ever made.
Is a noun of urban
A noun of
education.
urban education. He doesn't do anything. He says he's progressive. He says he's for the environment. The Brookridge development that's going on right now, 103rd and Antioch area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're trying to have green space for that. So, no. You say you're for a rail, but you okayed putting a toll lane on 69?
I feel like
Yeah.
these are conflicting measures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can't call yourself an environmentalist for supporting these things. Now, I need to stop being lazy and get that petition to Mike Kelly about getting rail to Johnson County, but my understanding is he did sign that petition, so credit there, but still.
Yeah.
Your actions your votes are speaking louder than your words.
And that, in my opinion, largely comes back to partisanship.
Yeah.
And having to appease to a party platform rather than constituents.
Yeah.
Because you can't get, it's like the barrier to entry isn't actually the voting, it is getting to be the person that gets to be voted for.
Right. And unfortunately, that takes a lot of money.
It does. Well, money and very much a not what you know, but who you know.
Yeah.
It is.
I could give Andrew a call right now if I was. Yeah.
It was. So we'll be mostly facing forward because our audience is here. We're
Yep.
engaging with the audience. Do we actually engage with the audience, or they
I was
just...
thinking, this is something I could have the ushers do, have index cards. They could write questions on there, bring them up.
Okay.
And,
I'm open to that.
yeah. So,
I'm all about audience engagement that way.
so yeah, we could do that. So yeah, we will do that as soon as I get some temporary wheels. I will buy some index cards, and we will.
Right? Like, what a week to have a car issue.
Yeah, no kidding. This is why I say God must really hate me. So.
Well, yeah, okay, so we need some index cards.
By the way, since my thing happened to me while I was at Crown Center during a time where they had a really hot garage, could I possibly think about suing them for damages?
I mean, if they can pinpoint it to that part overheating.
Exactly. That's just the thing.
That's the thing. Did you have a question for us?
Yep.
Does it sound okay so far?
Yeah.
Am I projecting better?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, good.
Everyone can always project more, but
Good. All right.
So we will have index cards for audience engagement.
Yep.
And is that okay with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm also going to edit and print more of these flyers up. The QR code goes to our Libsyn page. And anything else we want to discuss in our? As we're coming up on 49 minutes now. So. All right. Well.
I was like, I felt like I had something, but then I started asking questions and that thing went away. Okay, I do. So we have this thing.
Uh-huh.
that'll go to to the podcast where people can listen.
Yep.
As far as like marketing material between now and like
well, we got we do have some cards over at Fringe 411, but if you want to print off more cards, be my guest.
Well, my question is, and are you comfortable with, like, so Megan, for example, is going to be our guest Saturday. So
right.
Creating, like, a marketing, like, and I say marketing, I'm using that word loosely, a social media flyer that,
yes.
That, like, highlights each guest one at a time and, like, when they're coming on, or do we have something that has...
I don't have anything in mind, but if you want to go and do
you're
that...
comfortable with that?
Yeah,
And then just post it. Am I an admin on the page? Can I post as the page?
I will double check.
Okay.
I will double check. So if you're not, I'll make you an admin.
Well, that way, if I can post it as the page,
Tonight.
and then I can share it as the page.
Yeah.
I can share it as myself, but I want to make sure that the podcast following is also
absolutely.
getting all of that information,
Absolutely,
not just
not just your friends.
my friends. But that's, if you're cool with that, that is something I'd like to
cool
do.
with that,
And so I'm imagining like just one thing that has all of the times on it, and then the names of each guest, and maybe like a little blurb about like burlesque, IFC, SAG, like whatever our kind of topics will be, and then an individual piece that we can promote that upcoming show. So like our first one will go out with Megan. Join us this Saturday. And it'll have Megan's info on there, and then that way people have an idea if they're saying, what show do I want to go to?
Yeah.
They have something that tells them like what shows there are. They're interested to see something in particular.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that's going to do it for this test episode of the podcast. So,
I love it.
All right. So I want to thank all you for attending. I want to thank our guests. I want to thank Heather, of course, for her help. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. We're on pretty much every podcast platform that you could think of. If you have one of our flyers, please check out our links as well. There's plenty of ways on there that you can help me out. I do Cameo. I'm on Cameo. No one's paid for a Cameo yet. We got merch. Paid for some merch because no one's done that yet either. And
I didn't even know that stuff was there.
Yeah.
So and if I didn't know, there's no way everybody else did.
Right.
I would also like to thank you, Michael. Thank you for creating a space and being open to just such a broad topic spectrum and holding space for all different kinds of people to sit and share and communicate.
Absolutely.
And I think it's pretty spectacular. And thank you for letting me and us be a part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. That will wrap it up for tonight. So thank you and good night.
Good night.
This podcast is Uncalled For is hosted, produced and edited by Mike Chernevsky. Opening music for our KC Fringe program is Welcome to Fringe, courtesy of Suno.com. Outro music for our KC Fringe program is Fantasia by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.